Speaking of problems, Devin Singletary drafters have nothing but problems because they talk themselves into thinking Devin Singletary is a value every year, and then he never, ever, we're talking ever, is until the end of last season. But if you draft, you might not even had him around still at the end of last season. What I want to ask you, are the Bills really going to be three-man backfield? Joe Biscaglia came on our podcast, maybe one of the best beat writers in the entire country, said Zach Moss was for real. They thought his horrible 2021 was about a slow recovery from injury. Do we think the Bills are going to be three-man backfield? And what are the warning signs we are looking for on Thursday night against the Rams?
Yeah, I think kind of an even split among the guys is one thing we can look for. Another very concerning thing for Singletary, and I believe we've mentioned this several times on this podcast over the offseason, is what if he's just used between the 20s? And that's not what we want. That's almost a useless sort of role for fantasy purposes. It's the Antonio Gibson type role that we're just not interested in. So you have Moss coming in. And by the way, Moss got all the goal line work in their final preseason game. And that could be concerning.
I just fainted.
Although Devin Singletary did take nearly all of the first team snaps, but when they got near the goal line, it was Moss. He's a bigger back, and Moss was good, and Moss was better than Singletary in 2020 until he got hurt, and then it was just downhill, and he didn't seem to really recover, at least in the eyes of the Bills coaching staff last year either. I actually find myself targeting, and obviously doing hero RB or zero RB type drafts. I find myself targeting Zach Moss as the cheapest piece of a backfield that should have lots of positive and neutral game script and an offense that should score a lot of points. So you could do way worse than getting Zach Moss just as a stash, just for now, just to see how it shakes out.
It's the first time in 3 years I didn't talk myself into Devin Singletary being a value, and where I did not draft him heavily in my redraft league. So looking forward to that really, really burning me. Another backfield real quick, the Jets, where I've been suspicious of all this late summer Michael Carter smoke, to be honest.
Really?
Where is this coming from? Like why all they could barely commit to him last year. Like they featured Tevin Coleman. Like I don't understand how all of a sudden he's like better than the second round running back they drafted. And I guess Breece Hall maybe just didn't look good this summer. But I mean, what do you think's going to happen with the Jets backfield, and what do we need to see this weekend?
Well, I mean, I think that the smoke in part comes from not just from beat writers.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's even from the coaching staff. It's crazy.
But from preseason, I mean, Michael Carter outsnapped Breece Hall 12-9 in the Jets' final preseason game with the first team offense. Like our blurb says here, at least Hall was worked in to some extent.
That is good. That's good news.
11 of Hall's 13 carries. 11 of Hall's 13 yards came on one carry this preseason.
It's like Rashad Penny. Just got to give him chances to hit home runs.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Breece Hall looks like the kind of rookie running back, and we see this a lot, who can emerge and probably will emerge as the workhorse or something close to it later in the season. And I do think you're going to have to be patient with Hall.
I just do think it's the same coaching staff and front office that drafted Michael Carter, then watched Michael Carter as a rookie, and then came away so impressed they used a second round pick on a running back. I just don't really know. I mean,
that's just they were pressured into that pick.
That's fair. They want to think that's fair.
One thing they could have done is they could have drafted a good offensive lineman. That would have helped.
True. Well, they weren't really counting on Mekhi Becton's career taking the worst possible turn. And
I guess,
yeah. So the Jets one's a weird one where I feel like Michael Carter could be the kind of pick that is bankrupting people by late September, and maybe he's very briefly the lead back or something. But I'm just having trouble buying him.
I'm pushing back. I'm saying Michael Carter was really good last year.
I'm scared. He was good. I did like him last year. I just thought the Jets didn't. And
apparently there's been a change of heart from the early off-season reports we got where it's going to be Batman and Robin, of course, Robin being Michael Carter. But it seems like maybe those roles not have reversed, but have kind of leveled up to each other. Michael Carter is a really good pass catcher. I know Breece Hall is supposed to be too, but he proved it last year.
The last one I'm going to ask you about, I'm going to use your wording, what you wanted to say for this, because it's very good wording, is like, do Daniel Jones's tendencies change at all in this Brian Dable-led offense for the Giants? Are they going to start using the Daniel Jones in the way he's actually successful, like letting him run a little more, maybe forcing him to actually throw down the field a little more? What are you looking for with Daniel Jones and his Brian Dable debut this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, Brian Dable has spent all offseason telling reporters, hey, I hope our quarterback throws it downfield more. And that has not happened, by the way. In preseason, it didn't happen. No. It was constant check down nonsense, the same stuff we've seen over and over and over again from Daniel Jones. I think the best case scenario fantasy-wise for Daniel Jones, maybe the best case scenario for the Giants fantasy wise is Tyrod Taylor as the quarterback. I don't know. But,
oh my God.
But is Daniel Jones just taking off, just doing the one read thing and then just taking off? That's probably best case for his fantasy prospects. It's probably not best case for the receivers and everybody else in that offense, but there's no indication that Daniel Jones is ready to let it rip and like be this new quarterback. I think, the Giants GM last week gave some remarkable quotes to the press saying, we have no expectations this year. Like, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad, folks. So
it's always great in New York City, too. Always a very forgiving market.
Yeah, I think they could be just an abomination this year because and it has nothing to do with Dable or anything. It has to do with the horrible GM and coach that came before them.
That really did. Joe Judge, like, not even like trying to pile on Joe Judge, but to pile on Joe Judge was probably the worst coaching hire of at least the past 5 years. This was probably the worst coaching hire since Jim Tomsula. Just was not ready and did not meet the moment and really did set this team back.
It was so clear too.
Yeah, it was quite. And so the only thing other than Daniel Jones is that maybe he'll never become this downfield passer. Hopefully now he's at least better equipped to dink and dunk, like with our boy Wan'Dale Robinson, hopefully breaking out. Talk about our boy Kadarius Toney. Kadarius, if you could just practice twice in a row, one time ever, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Please.
If you could play 2 drives in a row during the regular season, that would also be nice.
I can't wait. I can't wait for like the blurb to go up at like 1:17 p.m. on Sunday, or whenever they play 4:00. Kadarius Toney exits game with knee injury. I'm not hoping he gets injured, by the way. Just saying.
This is me having never played football, sitting in my basement saying, Kadarius Toney, you should just stay in the game. I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and Rotoworld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from Rotoworld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.